I do need to talk about something serious. There is something serious that I do need to talk about. I don't know how many of you guys follow me on Twitter, and I'm actually going to be killing off the alerts for this just because this is something serious. And I know you guys are here for a fun and enjoyable time, but this is serious and it needs to be discussed. I was debating whether or not I wanted to talk about this, but I do need to talk about this. Um Hang on, let me pull it up. So you guys may or may not, for those of you that follow my Twitter account, you guys may have seen that I posted this on Twitter today. Okay? I posted this on Twitter today. This is in regards to Brian Kilmeade. So for those of you who don't know, Brian Kilmeade is a host of Fox and Friends on Fox. And basically what he did is they were having a discussion on last Wednesday. Okay? Last Wednesday they were having a discussion in regards to the woman that lost her life on the subway, that the perpetrator was like home. He'd been arrested multiple times. I believe he had mental health issues and he'd been spending time in a homeless shelter. That was their context of their discussion. And then they moved on to homeless people in general, and this is what he said.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail.
Now, I want to make clear what this gentleman is saying, that if you have people like homeless individuals or people with significant mental health issues that basically make them a risk to society, offer them as much as help as they need, and if they refuse the help, then maybe they need to go, be relocated to a secure facility. If they are continually refusing help that is being offered to them, if they're continually refusing it, then a more significant step of, okay, maybe they need to be placed into a secure mental health facility. Maybe they need to be placed in jail. That is an extreme, and I don't wish for anybody to go to jail. But if they are continually refusing help like this, I appreciate the fact that, like, what else are you going to do? If you try to help them, try to get them help they need with mental health, or get them housing, and they refuse to accept this assistance, you're like, secure mental health facility, even jail. Yes, I fully appreciate. I don't have a problem with what he has said. It's the follow-up from him that I have a problem with.
Up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
I will play that again. I will play that again.
Be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it?
That I have a problem with. That I have a problem with. He follows up with what he's saying about going to extreme measures, but keeping them safe, to him saying, kill them. Just kill the mentally ill or kill the homeless. That I have a problem with. And I tweeted this alone. I tweeted this alone like yesterday or the day before with a what the actual fuck. Like, that is one of the most insane mask-off things I've ever heard in my fucking life. That is homicide. That is 1942 shit right there. And I went off. And I posted a tweet. Well, apparently he posted a quote unquote apology 4 days later. It took 4 fucking days for him to issue an apology on Fox. Okay, so that clip stayed for 4 fucking days of him saying mental health people that require mental health and homeless people should be killed. Okay, this broadcast occurred last Wednesday. Okay, that's when this was broadcast, on Wednesday. On Saturday, this was his apology.
Yeah, and it actually happened when we were together on Wednesday, Lawrence. In the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections.
Okay, I'm going to pause here and back up slightly. Listen to the tone of his voice. Listen to the tone of his voice when he makes this apology.
I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. Lawrence, back to you.
All right, thanks, Brian.
That was the whole fucking apology. That was his entire apology there. Again, I'm going to play it again because this was supposed to be his apology for saying that homeless people and people in need of mental health care should be killed. Look at his face, listen to his tone, and listen to what he says.
Institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. Lawrence, back to you.
That was it. That was his fucking apology. That was the quote-unquote apology that he made on Sunday. It was a complete non-apology. He was reading it like it was just another news story. There was zero emotion in his voice whatsoever. He didn't give a fuck. That was the voice of someone that the studio execs, said, you fucked up, you've got to make a public apology because people are pissed off about this. And that was the quote-unquote apology. Complete bullshit. Complete fucking bullshit. He did not fucking care. By that apology, he stands by what he said the first time. He was completely unsincere. That apology happened on Sunday. That quote-unquote apology happened on Sunday. That brings us to today, unfortunately. Today, 13 homeless people were shot in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 5 of them critically. 13 people were shot. This was a homeless camp. This was a homeless camp in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 13 homeless people were shot. 5 of them are in critical condition. One of the tents got set on fire. Now, they do not have the shooter or shooters. Don't know how many were involved in the shootings. And this is in 2 separate encampments. Okay? This was 2 different homeless encampments. Grand totaling 13 people injured, 5 critically. Okay? We don't know who the shooters are. We don't know what the motivations were. No, Yannicka, no, this is not a gang fight. This is 2 completely separate homeless encampments that were opened fire on. One of the tents was set on fire. That's not gang violence. this is someone that was targeting these homeless people. And again, they don't have a shooter in custody. We don't know who the shooters are. We don't know, at this point, we don't know what their motivations were for opening fire on these homeless people. But I have a functioning brain. And the fact that Brian Kilmeade, less than a week ago, suggested that if homeless people homeless people and people suffering from mental health issues refuse to accept their help, Brian Kilmeade said that they should be killed. Bearing in mind, this particular homeless encampment, and this is why I'm drawing the correlation here, this particular homeless encampment, the local authorities were struggling to get the people in this homeless encampment the help that they need to get them moved out of there and to break up the homeless encampment. The people in this encampment were resisting. They didn't want to leave their encampment. Correlation. So Brian Kilmeade last Wednesday says that if homeless people refuse help, that they should be killed. Less than a week later, 13 homeless people in encampments where they were refusing to accept that help were shot. Correlation. This needs to be broadcast. Brian Kilmeade should be fired. Brian Kilmeade should not have a job. He used his very loud voice. And make no mistake, Brian Kilmeade has a very loud fucking voice. The President of the United States has been on his show on Fox multiple fucking times. He has a very loud voice. And last Wednesday, he said that homeless people who refuse help should be killed. Okay? And then less than a week later, 13 homeless people get shot. After 2 days after his absolute non-apology. 2 days later, after his non-fucking apology. Correlation. I'm sorry, Brian Kilmeade needs to be fucking fired. He needs. They're not going to, because Fox is an absolutely disgusting news organization. But he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired immediately. Because just like Hassan, and how it's entirely possible that Hassan may have incited violence on his side of things, we are now, what about the incitation of violence on this side of things? Again, anybody who tries to argue that it's only one side, go fuck yourself. With your it's only happening on one side bullshit. Go fuck yourself with that nonsense. We are seeing it live and clear that the pro-violence coming from both sides is resulting in people being harmed or losing their lives. So anybody that tries to give me that, oh, it's one side doing it more than the other, go fuck yourself with that bullshit. The evidence is right there in front of you, so don't even fucking try to piss on my head and tell me it's sunshine. I have a logically functioning brain. Just because you might not doesn't mean a fucking thing to me. So, I'm sorry that we're kicking things off with a downer like this, but I felt this was important. I felt that this was important to talk about because the people with loud voices that have this long reach need to start being put in fucking check when they're calling for violence against others. That's what it boils down to. These are people with Brian Kilmeade, Hassan, Destiny. I heard about Destiny's bullshit too. where he's saying that if conservatives aren't afraid of you, you're not doing a good enough job or something like that. I heard about that. Don't think I didn't. Every single one of these people that have loud and wide-reaching voices that are calling for violence of any stripe need to get put in fucking check right fucking now. I don't care which side of the aisle you're standing for. It doesn't matter. If you call for fucking violence against someone, you need to get put in check. Flat the fuck out. I don't care who you're doing it on behalf of. You need to be put the fuck in check. Because championing violence right now is only going to make things 1,000 times worse. This, like, the fact that we are, how could I put this? How could I put this? Championing violence to solve all your issues does not fix your problems. It only compounds them with new ones. Every time these asshats are saying that people should be killed because they don't follow their ideology or they don't follow their script, they only make the problem worse and compound it with an even worse problem. And so anytime you have a streamer or a news personality that is championing, that is calling for violence against anyone, that needs to get shut the fuck down immediately. Bearing in mind, again, with Brian Kilman, again, with Twitch, Hassan should have been banned a long fucking time ago. Okay, that's one side. Twitch is protecting Hassan and basically championing his call for violence on all sorts of people. He should have been banned. He should have been deplatformed and banned a long fucking time ago for that. Brian Kilmeade with Fox, they waited 4 fucking days for that non-apology, and it was a non-apology. He should have been fired. He should have been fired. Like, all of this, big voices calling for violence needs to be stopped. If you want to call for peaceful resolutions, if you want to say that people that have committed crimes should be put in jail, or like what that other co-host was saying initially, where offer them as much assistance as they need, and if they're still refusing it, then placing them into a secure facility of some sort is the only next logical step. Yes, I can agree with that. You have made a good faith effort to try and help as much as you can, and if it's still being rebuffed, you have to take the next step if they are a threat to the populace, if that means a secure facility. Sure, I'm there. I agree. And then it went a step further. It's got to stop. It has to stop. Because this is not how this is not how you get people to come down from the skyrocketed high of anger towards your fellow man is at. You come down off of this by big voices with big reaches that people will listen to flat out say, stop. This is not how we as human beings should be. This is not how to solve the issue. This will not solve the issue. Zeb, with the jail part, I said mental health facility, or taking it to the unfortunate extreme next step, if it's all rebuffed, is jail. I'm talking about like the pinnacle of the extreme scenario when all other possible offerings of aid have failed. And you are left with no other choice. That's what I refer to. No, and Zep, I agree. I agree. It's there's a limit. I'm not ignorant and I'm fully appreciative of the fact that there is a limit of how far you can go before getting to a degree of a secure facility, be that mental health or jail. It's mental health would be, mental health facility would be 100% be my choice over jail. 100% it would be. I would much rather, especially for those that need that care, yes, get them to a mental health facility. If they refuse it, then maybe involuntary commitment to a mental health facility. I can fully support that. I can. It's when you get to the extreme level of you have these individuals that are refusing help, that they refuse to get that help, they refuse to do anything to work with and better themselves. It's I know that. I know. And outside of a mental health facility, if there was another option, I'd be more than willing to hear it. As long as it doesn't involve killing them. I'm like, I would be more than willing. If there's something other than involuntary commitment or jail for these people, if there's a third option, I would be more than willing to hear it. Absolutely, I would love to hear a third option that doesn't involve confinement, that can be done, that could be done to help these individuals. I would be all for any suggestions of that nature. I would. It's it's in lieu of not having that third option when you only have the two. Well said, but these are people that are living on the streets. These are people that are basically living in public spaces that are causing issues for residents in the spaces that they are setting up their homeless encampments at. They're setting these up in public streets where people have to, will have to walk through, or they're setting them up near like residential areas where potentially children may play. I agree. Like that can't be done. It's, if there are programs to basically get them housed, get them care, get them jobs, and I'm assuming that what they were referring to in the beginning of that clip was those were the programs that they were referring to, trying to, for homeless people to get them jobs, to get them homes, to get them the skill training, to get them to be able to get back on their feet. Like, I'm 1,000% for that, to help them get back to a sense of being able to live as a normal person instead of on the street. Absolutely. And yeah, as Hudson actually said, you put it so much more succinctly than I have been stumbling over trying to put it, is this is very nuanced and there is no cookie cutter solution. But I damn sure know that the solution is not to kill them. That is the one solution every single one of us can agree on. Is the one solution is not to kill them. On that, every one of us can agree.